Ever pondered about the seemingly invisible hand controlling the ebb and flow of our economy? The answer to this riddle is none other than the Federal Reserve, a pivotal player in the economic arena. The Federal Reserve, or the Fed as it's commonly known, has an array of tools at its disposal to steer our economy. One such tool, a metric used to measure inflation, has been making headlines recently. In March of 2024, the Fed's preferred inflation metric rose to 2.7%. Now you might be scratching your head and thinking, what in the world does that mean? Well, let me break it down for you. Inflation is essentially the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising, and subsequently it's a measure of the purchasing power of your dollar. That's right, the more inflation rises, the less you can buy with that crisp dollar bill in your wallet. Now the Fed uses this inflation metric to keep tabs on the health of our economy. It's like a doctor checking a patient's vitals. Too high an inflation rate and our economy could be running a fever. Too low, and it could be flatlining. And just like how a doctor would adjust their treatment based on a patient's vitals, the Fed adjusts its monetary policy based on this inflation metric. For instance, when the inflation metric rose to 2.7% in March, the Fed had to make some decisions. It's a delicate balancing act. They need to keep inflation in check, but they also don't want to stunt economic growth. The Fed's decision to hold interest rates steady after 10 consecutive increases was one such move. It was like a tightrope walker pausing to regain balance, a strategic decision to control inflation while avoiding economic disruption. So, in summary, the Fed's inflation metric is not just a number. It's a vital sign of our economy's health. It guides the Fed's decisions and impacts everything from the prices you pay at the grocery store to the interest rates on your loans. Understanding the inflation metric is like holding a compass in the vast economic wilderness. It can help us navigate through the complexities of our economy, making sense of the ever-changing landscape. So the next time you come across a headline about the Federal Reserve's inflation metric, you'll know exactly what it means and why it matters. After all, knowledge is power, and in this case, it can be the difference between getting lost in the economic wilderness or charting your own course.